All right, so let's start today's session. Good morning, everyone. My name is Peter. You know me. So let's start today's session. It's the very first session. In very first session, we have discussed about little bit about the basics like requirements and all. So from today, we are starting sessions properly, and we will have classes on weekends regularly. It will be like 2 hours class per day. So we will have classes on Saturday and Sunday. Correct. So we have most of the time we have around okay, we have 6, 7 students right now. Okay. So guys, a few of you maybe have some technical networking background. Few of how many of you do not have networking background? Could you please tell me? Any of you, person who do not have any kind of a networking knowledge or okay, we have Vijay. Okay, Vijay. Any other person? See, no worries. Never lie to doctor and teacher. The very popular quote, right? Okay, Vijay, got it. See, why I'm asking there is a reason. Like this thing will decide the strategy, like how we will lead towards the training. Correct? That's why I'm asking. Okay, John as well. Okay. See, the point is like in CCNA, like we are here for the CCNA. The point is, in CCNA, basically that most of the things are practical stuff. Correct? And most of the things about the configuration and all, definitely we will move towards that, but before that we need to have some basics of networking. Correct? We need to have that knowledge as well. That is why I asked this question to you, so that like we can, we must have the knowledge of networking first. Correct? The basics, not in deep. At least we must have the basic knowledge so that we can understand the things, we can understand the concept. Okay, because in the configuration part we will not discuss the concept more. Okay, we will just go through with the configuration and all. Okay, so we need to have a little bit knowledge on the networking part. So guys, we will start with the basic. Okay, we will start with the concept, and then later on we will move towards the core CCNA program or core CCNA topics like IP addressing, the router configuration, the switches configuration, routing, switching, managing Cisco routers and switches. Okay, we will cover onward, that thing basically. But before that, we must have the knowledge of basics. Now, a little bit about the protocol of the class. Let's discuss that thing. Like see, try to keep your mic off, means be muted. Okay, whenever you have a doubt, you can interrupt me. Just raise your hand. Okay, there is an option of raise hand. Okay, you can raise hand, and I will allow you to ask me question. So you can interrupt me anywhere. No problem with that. Okay, or you can interrupt me after completion of the topic. Definitely, I will ask you. I will check with you that things are clear to you or not. Correct. So you can ask your probings, your questions. You can take a note of that, well as it is good to have if you have notepad along with you during the classes, during the session, that would be helpful for you as well. Okay, so that is the whole idea. Okay, so guys, let's just start to this session. It's first session, you can say that. Okay, so first of all, let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to you. Okay. So very first, we need to understand the networking. I hope you are able to see my wallpaper. Actually, it's the significance of the networking. Okay. So if you're seeing like the board is connected to each other, correct? Like each and every node is connected, and like internet is something like that. Okay. People think like sometimes people think like internet is something where it's something like kind of running water from a tap. It is not just like that exactly. See, like internet is something that is, when we usually call, like the things come from the network first. Okay. So what exactly is network? So we will start our discussion from that point. Okay. So network is nothing. It's about the connection of two or more. Okay. So just forget the technicality. Okay. When we will have technical discussion later on, no worries. But the basic term is like what exactly is network? Because network is something that is the connection of two or more nodes. Okay, connection of or more nodes will be known as the network. Okay, so very simple. Two or more nodes. At least we require the two nodes, at least two computers, two hosts, and when you connect them, that will be known as the network. But the very important thing is about the network is Bob. We require the media as well. Okay, we require the medium. Okay, like through which the data will be transmitted. the communication will, possible. Don't think too much about the machine. It's about the human aspect. Like let's say you and me, we are each other. Like let's say we are in front of each other. Let's say, and we want to communicate. So like obviously you will speak, I will hear. I will hear, and I will speak, you will hear. So the thing is that like how data is transmitted. Okay, you are transmitting data, I am transmitting data, but what is the media? Media is actually air. Okay, we are able to listen each other because of air. Air is a medium through which the voice signals will be transmitted. Correct? That is like voice signals are nothing. These are a kind of a vibration actually. Okay, you can learn about this thing in the in different things. It's a different part of technology, but these are the vibrations which are transmitted through the air. Correct? You know that like in space there is no air, so you can't communicate in the space directly. Okay, so because there is a vacuum, there is no air. Correct. So that is the idea. So this is how basically generally the communication will take place. Okay. So for communication, yes, minimum two hosts are required. That is the fact. Aman, Amit, and along with that, we required at least two or more hosts and the medium. That is something very very okay. That is the idea. So like we said, if you go technically, so very simple. Connection of two or more nodes. Remove this node and just place the computer word here. Connection of two or more computer or networking devices will be known as a network, will be considered as a network. Correct? So this is the definition of network. Correct? That is the idea. Okay. Now, what is networking? Okay. So any word that consists ing actually, it signifies it's along with the property. So networking is something that is about like what is the objective of network. So very simple. See, the definition is same: connection of two or more nodes over through a media, but along with the resource sharing. Okay, resource sharing is the key factor. It's a key of networking, guys. Okay, actually, networking is supposed to fulfill the business requirement. Always remember that, and obviously that's why we will get the job in the corporate, right? See, why corporates are using the networking? Okay, why corporates are using networking? The fact is basically, see, if you have seen any office, maybe you have worked somewhere previously, few of you maybe have some of the experience. So if you have seen within a office floor, you know that around 20-30 users are there, correct? 20-30 PCs are there, workstations are there, and people are working there, correct? Now, point is, if you have noticed, all of them, let's say, have printing job. So they do not have 20-30 printer there. They have only one or two printer there at place, at that floor. Correct. So point is, all the guys, all the 20-30 users are doing printing service with those two printers. Those two printers or one printer is safe sufficient for them. Correct. So how it is working? It is due to networking because we have shared and they have shared actually those printer on network. So what I have mentioned, resource sharing, guys. Correct. Resource sharing is the key. Okay. That is why networking is okay. That is the idea. So resource sharing is the key. Okay. There is one another term about the networking that is actually the data communication. We usually call it DC. So transferring data, through one node to another node, the process will be known as data communication. In computer science, it is little bit more technical. In computer science, data is something that is actually 0 1. We usually call it bit. Okay. When data is transmitted through the wire, we will learn more about that later on. When data is transmitted through the wire, Vijay, it is in the form of actually the electricity. Okay. Zone. We called it the binary form of the data. Okay. So whenever data is transmitting through the boards, circuitry boards, semiconductor, integrated circuit, through the wire, through the connector, it is in the electric form. Means if you will touch the data, you will get shocked. Correct? So it is quite similar to that. Okay. So that is the term data communication. So it is more about the database. Okay. So it's all about the network. Now the concept of internet. First of all, we need to understand that thing. Like as I told you, like people uses internet a lot. Okay. Jolly, like it's a usual stuff nowadays. Like without internet, it's nothing. You know that we have work from home, we have tasks, and so many things. right? So we are doing, jobs from, from home because we have internet. And see, why organizations are able to give work from home, WFH. Reason behind that, because it's internet. Okay, the people can connect to the office network from the home. Correct. That is the logic. Now we need to understand the internet. Okay. So what exactly is internet? We are using internet, in the, the entire day. We are using Instagram, we are using Facebook, we are using Gmail, we are using Google Drive, and so many stuff, right? So what exactly is internet? We need to understand that thing. Okay. I will not go deep diving within that, but I will only cover the only the basic aspect. Means, like, I just want to change your view about the internet. Okay. Now see what internet is exactly. So if you go and check the definition of internet, it's nothing. It's a network of smaller net. Correct? Network of smaller net. Means it's a kind of a larger network. Correct? So Bob, let's say, just think about it. It's your network here at place. It's your network, your Wi-Fi network, your home network. Okay. It's your ISP network where from you are getting the connection. Okay. It's the another ISP. It is also connected to the, things. Okay. You use it for shopping purpose. You use this Amazon.com. So it's Amazon network. You're using any other vendor like Flipkart or Starbucks and so many. Correct. They have their own network and the internet is nothing. It's a connection between them. They are connected to each other. And this is how internet is building, actually. It's nothing. This is internet. People think internet is a kind of a substance which is placed at a single place. It is not like that. Internet doesn't belong to single place. Always remember that. It's not something placed at a single, it's actually, it's located in multiple ways. Like what I mean to say, like as I told you, like multiple networks are connected to each other, then it builds the internet. Correct? See, now let's say you are performing a kind of a shopping stuff. So obviously you will go to the www.amazon.com. Okay, I'm not promoting them. Huh? So Amazon.com or any other e-retail website. You perform the URL on your web browser, you access their website, you order something from there, and you will get the product later on. Correct? This is the job. So when you are accessing Amazon.com, actually you are, let's say Bob, you are at this place. It's your network. So you are accessing Amazon network. You are placing order there. So what you are exactly doing, you are accessing their network, Amazon's network. Correct? People usually called it like internet surfing. What you are doing? Internet surfing. What you are doing? I'm just surfing on the, I'm performing surfing on Instagram. It is not like that. Actually, you are accessing their network. Correct. So that is the logic. It's all about the internet. Okay. So internet is something like that. It's a connection of multiple networks. Now, because it's a kind of a global network, it's also a fact. Correct. Global network in the sense like the like we are from India, few people are from USA, few are from the UK, and we are connected to each other. Correct. And it is due to the internet. So that is why I'm calling it it's a kind of a global net. Now, how we are getting these kind of connectivity? So there is a organization, we usually called it ISP. Correct. So it's Internet Service Provider. ISPs are the organization which are responsible to provide internet connection. Very simple. Okay. So like British Telecom, we have Airtel, Bharti Airtel, we have Jio, Vodafone, and so many organizations are available. Okay. Tata and all, Tata Teleservices and all. Okay. So these organizations are ISP which are responsible for providing internet service. So we are without them, we are not able to connect them because it is not possible to establish a network, Bob, by yourself. Like you can't create a network from from your end to the Amazon. Okay, at individual level, that is not feasible. Correct. That is why we purchase the internet connection. That is why we are paying the bill. Okay, like you pay your internet bill. It's a fact. Or guys, you pay your postpaid bill on your postpaid connection, as well as you perform the prepaid recharge recharges for internet as well. It's a fact. People think we are paying for the internet. According to me, frankly speaking, internet is a free service because it's not a kind of a goods. It's not like there is a only dealing with the goods and services. It is not about the goods. Okay. See, why I'm saying internet is free? Very simple. For what you are paying exactly? You are paying for two things. First is for internet, you need to have IP address. So actually, your ISP is providing you the IP address, and he is, charging you, as per you can say that like he is charging you for the lease of that IP address. Okay, IPs are temporary basically. Till that time you are connecting to the internet, you will get the IP. Correct. So they are charging for IP address first. And second thing is for the services, or you can say the service charge, because they are providing this kind of infrastructure to you. That's why you are able to connect with the global networks or for the remote location. Okay. So ISPs are charging for these two stuff. Always remember that. Internet is free otherwise, guys. Internet is a free service. Okay. I will take you to a website and maybe you will relate it more. This is a website called Submarine Cable. Actually, and it's not a kind of animation, okay? It's a real stuff. You can see that word is connected like this. Okay. These are the fiber optic cables and these are the real ones, as I told you. And all the, the countries are connected like this. Now, who built this kind of infrastructure? Obviously, ISPs and governments. Sometimes the government public partnership are also involved here. Okay. So these, this is the, as I told you, connection of multiple nodes, connection of, multiple networks. Okay. So this is how actually internet is taking place in our life, guys. You need to understand this thing as well. Possibly you haven't seen, this thing like, in this manner, what I have shown you. I personally believe because I train a lot people, they use the internet, but they exactly don't know how things are working and they never bother about that as well. Okay. So I just want to change your perspective, nothing else. Okay. So this is internet, nothing else. Who built these? These are the fiber optic links actually. Okay. For the long distance communication, we use this fiber optic cable. Most of the time they are under sea, somewhere at underground as well as, okay. And you can see that. And we are here at, you can see that we are here in India. Okay. So we are connecting to you from here. And let's say a few of the candidates from USA. So you are here. Okay. Okay. So this is how basically things are working. Okay. Around you can see this. So how we are communicating. This is due to the ISP. So ISPs are responsible for these connects. Always remember this. Okay. So this builds the, this thing builds the internet, nothing. Okay. So internet is nothing. It's a connection of, multiple smaller networks. One more thing, I want you to do some more research on internet. Okay. See, if you go to the history of internet, actually in earlier days, internet was known as ARPANET. Okay. And I'm not going to in the detailing. I want you to perform some stuff on that. And later on, it was named as DARPANET because earlier days, internet was used, with the name of ARPANET. That was for the research and development, and it was used by the USA. Then they have changed the name, that is DARPANET, because then Defense, DOD, Department of Defense America, started using this stuff. Then this thing is known as DARPANET. And finally, when they found this is a very important and very good stuff, they make it public, and then the name has been changed to internet. And the internet is available for all. It's publicly available. Okay. One more thing about the internet. Internet is a kind of a public net. You also remember this thing as security point of view. Okay. It's a kind of a public network. Guys, always remember that. You know that public things are not quite safe. It's a fact. Private is safe. Public is not safe. So let's say you have a network within your house. That is a private network. But when you are leaving your network, and moving towards the internet, actually you're moving towards the public. Now there is a theory. See, the internet is a, exactly, uh, okay, great, Jolly, correct. Okay, internet is something, you need to understand, because later on, obviously, you will move towards the security part as well as in future point of view. Right now, you are doing CCNA, but maybe you will move towards the cyber security field or the network security field as well. So always remember, internet is a public network. See, and there is a theory. See, public places can't do discrimination. You know that. Let's say there is a public park in your society. That is for all. Correct? Each and equal. Same thesis is for same theory is for the internet. Internet also follow this tactic. It's a public network. It is each and equal. It follows the each and equal. Correct? For everyone. So see, good guys are also here. Amazon.com, Bob is also here. Okay. So like Jolly is also here. ISPs are also here. But guys, there is a one other stuff who is also here. That is hackers. Correct? So the bad guys are also available on the internet. Always remember that. That is why we usually call public networks are not safe. But you know that it is something very, very important. Without internet, we will not get the connectivity. Correct? So we need to use it. So the safety parameter will be different. And later on we will discuss slightly, this thing as well as here within the course. But yes, more you will learn in the cyber security or you will go with the network security like firewall or CCNP security and all where there you will learn about the security part. That is something very, very important and demanding stuff as well. Okay, for getting job, CCNA is enough, guys. Always remember that. Like even I have started my career in 2000, around 2010, or I did my CCNA in 2012. I have started my training career in 2010 earlier. Okay, and it's around 2009 and later on I will move towards the technology Cisco basically. So I have started Cisco trainings from 2012 around. See, what I personally believe, even after doing this, I did so many courses, but I got the job on the basis of CCNA. It's a fact. Correct. So means if you do CCNA in better manner, in the proper manner, definitely guys, you will get the job. The only key factor is you need to have knowledge, the skill set. That is something very, very important. Okay. So believe me, like you don't need required any kind of a background, nothing worry. Don't worry about the education background. First thing is that, you know, even you don't need to bother about the certification as well. If you got the training and you have a good knowledge, a good sound knowledge of the concept, definitely you will get the job. Okay, that is why I am trying this thing to you with you. Why I am covering the basics. This is what we are discussing is not part of CCNA, guys. Okay, people just started with the IP addressing of the router and switches and configuration and all. But if you do not know how things are working, how you will deal with those devices, what you will do when there is a problem. Okay, you can only perform troubleshooting when you have this kind of a knowledge, the conceptual knowledge. Okay, so that is why I am not going deep diving. I can explain everything you in deep, but there is a time bound as well as, so we need to cover things within the time period as well as. That's why I'm just giving you the way and making possible things like so that you will understand each and every part. Okay, and you see one more thing about the training. Along with the training you need to follow is, guys, always try to be sound technical. Okay, you know that, like a high school guy is also can explain you the internet, and nowadays that the people knows, the kids knows the what is VPN and all. Correct. So see, but you're preparing for the engineering. Correct. You want to be engineer, network engineer. Correct. So you need to sound better. Always remember that. So just pick the technical point. Like if you are explaining something, it should sound technical. It's not the ordinary one. Correct. It should sound technical. Always remember. So just use the term like what I am using. Like it's a kind of a public network and all these things. Correct. Because ordinary people do not know. They don't know about like internet is a public network. You are the guys. You are the engineer. So you know what is private network, what is public network. Correct. That is the idea. Okay. I hope this thing is clear to you. Any query related to this, guys? Whatever we have discussed. Any query? Then otherwise we will move forward. Is it clear?
All clear, sir. Yes.
Okay, that's great. All right. So this is how internet's working. Okay, now we will learn about like how we are building these networks. Later on, we will cover that thing as well as. For this is a kind of assignment. Just research about the ARPANET, DARPANET, and internet history as well as that will definitely help you and boost your knowledge. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's move forward. So what I was sharing with you, yeah, network is nothing. It's a connection of two overnet. Okay. Now the objective, why we are building the net. So there are some specific objects. Okay. First thing is that is resource share. Correct. As I mentioned earlier. Most of the time, Bob, what I found, people say we are building networks for communication channel. Okay. But we don't accept it as in like in this manner. Communication channel is not a feature of networking. Now, maybe your thoughts will conflict with me, but the fact is, communication channel is a kind of an inbuilt feature, okay, in the network. That is why we do not mention communication channel earlier. The objective of network is always resource sharing. I have given you the example, and as I told you, like networking is nothing. It's not about the connectivity. It's about the business requirement. Correct. That is why like Google is hiring, looking for the guy like you, or Microsoft is hiring people like you. See, as I told you, there are 40 users in a LAN environment, in an office. There are 40 users. Let's say, just think about it. If there is no network, or let's say the networking doesn't exist, let's say they have printing job. So how many printers you require? Guys, 40 printers. Correct. Means for 40 users, business need to purchase 40 printers. Let's say one printer cost you around let's say $10,000 or let's say 1,000 US dollars. Let's say okay. So for 40 users, you need to buy 40 printers. That will cost you 40,000 US dollars. Correct. Now just think about it, about the figure. And if you are building network, you can share a single printer within the network. It will cost you 1,000 US dollars. How many the business saves? It's 39K US dollar. That is why I told you actually the networking is, the priority, for the industries. Networking is something that is for, businesses actually prior. Okay. And obviously, like, it's not about the, surfing on the Facebook and like normal people does the same. They are surfing on the Facebook, Instagram and all. But we are looking for the job. Now, obviously, we will work with the industries. Correct. So the point is basically what networking is doing for the businesses. It's about the cost cutting as well. Correct. It is providing the cost cutting. So business is about money. You know that business is about money. Correct. Saving of the money. Say, the managing the expenditures and all. So you're saving around 99%, around 99 or 98% of the expense you're saving. So just think about it. So what networking is providing the cost. Correct. Third thing is called performance improvement. Performance improvement is something like when you will have the multiple devices, obviously people will not, optimize them. It's about the optimization. Optimization is like, they are not using the asset properly. Business, spent money on that, but they are not using like that. Okay. In the proper manner. So obviously that is not the optimal. Like, but if you have a single printer there, so, it will be, improve the performance basically. Okay. So that is also one of the key factor. And then I have mentioned the communication channel. Okay. So communication channel is about like, as I told you, it's a kind of an inbuilt feature. That is why I have mentioned it at, around fourth point. It's an inbuilt feature. Whenever you will connect the devices with the cable, obviously you will get the communication channel. It's a understood thing. Okay. So never say, if someone is asking you the objectives of the networking, never say this point at very first. This is wrong. Okay. Always go with the, resource sharing, cost cutting, and performance improvement first, then communication. Okay. That is the idea. Along with that, it is providing you the high reliability as well as. So what exactly is high reliability here? So, let's say you're sharing a single printer with the 40 users, as I told you. Okay, these are the 40 users. You shared the single printer, but there is a problem with this scenario. Let's say this printer goes down, your work will be stopped. Correct? So means it will bring the downtime. Okay, so it could be a problem for the business. Like you know what you will answer to your client. Our printer is not working, so that is not a good thing. So see what we usually do, and always remember it's the first day of class. We usually follow in the networking. That is, we usually called it redundancy. How many of you understand with this word redundancy? Any of you want to answer? What is redundancy? Any of you guys?
No, sir. No idea, sir.
No idea? Okay. I hope you have understand with the alternative. Actually, redundancy means alternative or backup. Yeah. See, we usually, as I told you, like if you go with the single printer, there is a possibility it will goes down. Correct. So see, in networking, like it's because it's about the business, as I told you. Okay. So we usually do not share the single print. We will go with the two printers on a network, P1 and P2. Why? If one goes down, our work will continue with the other print. Okay. And we can fix it. That's all. Correct. So that is called the having alternative, having back. Okay. So in networking, guys, always remember it is something very, very essential to have backup at place. Because if network goes, just think about it. If let's say your ISP goes down, what will happen? All the customer will not able to use services. Correct? It's a fact. So that is why we need to have alternatives. We need to have backup. And guys, as I told you about the technical term, we usually called this thing as redundancy. Okay. So as I told you earlier, like we need to go with the proper with the term. Okay. So we do not use these common words, alternative and backup. Actually, we usually called it redundancy. Okay. So we must have redundancy in the network with the assets, with the data. Obviously, that's why we use the data backup and the cloud backups. Correct. That is actually redundancy. If one device goes down, we will have the access of the data. We will have the access of the service. Correct. So that is the law. So redundancy is something very, very important in the networking. So this is about the high reliability. Okay. And the last and but not the least, that is about the remote access. So remote access is taking the remote connection of a device from, or from the different, location, from the remote location. Okay. Yes, Vinay, it's kind of thing, So that is why we use this. Like, I'm mentioning this about the asset right now, but later on we will go with the routing and the other concept. There also we will have the redundancy within the routes. Okay, we will have multiple routes. We will have see even the like if you know that I don't know because few of you are new. So guys, what do you think? Like, let's say there is an organization where you are working. So, they do not have a single ISP connection. They do not have a single connection. They use two or more connections, two or three connections. Right? One connection from here, one from what it is. It is redundancy. Let's say one ISP goes down. So the other ISP, the other ISP will provide the internet services. So in industries, whenever you will go, whenever you will do the job, you will get two connections, guys. Okay. And the reason behind it, it's about the redundancy, nothing else. Because network required the high reliability. Correct? That is the point. So remote access, something that is very, very important. Correct. Remote access is taking remote of the device. I hope you have used tools like TeamViewer, AnyDesk, AmiAdmin. These are the tools. With the help of that, you can take the remote of the PCs, computer machines. Correct. So that is for only for the computer. Those tools are only for the computers, taking remote of those devices, computer system. Okay, but in networking, we have other devices as well as that plays role. Like we have routers, we have switches, Vinay, we have firewalls, Bob. We have different devices. So always remember that we can take remote connection. We can take the remote of those devices. We can manage those devices from your, you can manage those devices from your home. Okay, that is called the remote access. Okay, and that is also possible, due to network, because those devices are on network. That is why we are getting this feature, that is remote access. Correct? That is the idea. So this is how networking, is something that is very, very important. And what it is providing us, these are the points, key points. Okay. So that is the whole idea, whole concept of the networking. That is why we are building. That is why, the business requires the network. Okay. That is the idea. Is it clear, or is there any query related to any point, guys? Any clarification you want, you can ask. Yeah. All right. So see, always believe me. Whenever you will feel any doubtful thing, you can drop it in chat. You can raise your hand up. You can ask. Feel free to ask me. Okay, and it's a very it's you know means you need to be for learning purpose. You need to be you you need to be left your shying behavior actually. Or I mean to say, you don't be shy. You can ask me. You can ask me twice. Okay, if you are not understand, you can ask me twice. No problem. Maybe I will get irritated, but it's my job to make you understand these things. Correct? So that is the idea. So means you need to ask questions. That is something very, very much. It could be a silly question, Bob. That is also possibility. Maybe you will ask silly question, but I will decide it is silly or not. Correct? And I will answer that one. And I will explain it to you. Like, it means what you are asking is right or not. Correct. Or maybe you will ask something that is, key point. So there is something very, very doubts are something that is very, very important. Guys. Okay. So having doubts during the learning is a very good technique for learning. Okay.
Yes, sir. Clearly. Please.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So these are the small concepts. See, even frankly speaking, I can give you the entire thesis on this. Means I can give you the whole lecture, because I also train the people's the graduate people's or from the colleges. So they have the thesis. Even you will look into the books, you will get a lot about this. And I'm not saying like you can explore it more. You can learn it more basically through the internet or the articles as okay. As well as I will provide you the notes as well as along with the training. You will get these slides as well as. Don't worry about it. Okay. Just only thing is you need to put effort for knowing more. Okay. We have done with the notes. Now let's move to the key point. It is something very, very important. It's about the protocol. As I told you in communication, protocol is something that is very, very important, guys. Okay. Now, what exactly is protocol? If you want to define it, very simple. A set of rules for a particular type of communication is called protocol. Correct. Now, I need attention of all of you, because I will have few questions after this topic for you. Okay. So I need your more attention now, because it is something, as I told you, TCP/IP is something that is important in the job. Okay. So, means, it's in JD as well as, and people will ask you questions in the interview as well as from TCP/IP. So TCP/IP is a part of this topic. Okay. So we are starting protocols. Guys, as I told you, it's a kind of a way of talking or way of communication. Okay. So this is a protocol. This is a definition of protocol. Now, there is a category of protocol. We have two type of protocols: connection oriented and connection less oriented. Okay. These are the two types. For better understanding, I am taking you to the whiteboard so that I can explain both of them properly. Okay. So first of all, we have connection oriented. Then we have the other one, that is connection less oriented. Two categories. Okay. So we need to understand the property. Then we will able to understand like how things are working exactly. Okay, around us. Right now, like we are having a communication right now. So obviously, one of the protocol is being used here, correct? During our communication. So just try to understand. What is connection oriented? Connection oriented is something that is, let's say, always remember that. Let's say here is the source and here's the destination. Okay. So always remember that, like, that, like, from source to destination, there are multiple ways to reach to your destination. It is just like that. You are leaving for your office or for any destination. There are multiple ways, correct? And you know that. Let's say you want to go your office. You know that. What you will think? Let's say there are four ways. You have your own parameter. Maybe you will follow the path which is shortest, Jolly. Maybe you will follow the path, Bob, where less traffic is there. Sometimes what we usually do, Gulshan, like let's say we have a shortest path, but roads are not good. So usually we do not follow the shortest path then. We will follow the longest path where roads are good, correct? Or safety is there, correct? So we have our own logic. Everyone have their own logic for choosing best path. Similarly, in the networking, when we are having, I have shown you the internet. It's a long distance communication as well as even right now we are having the same. We are using a platform that is Zoom, and the Zoom server is in USA. Doesn't matter. Let's say you are in India or USA or somewhere else. The traffic is from my end. It's from India moving to the US and then to you. Correct. It's a long distance communication. And if you see, there is not a fraction of second delay, right? You're getting instantly data. Correct. So we will learn like how this thing is possible. Okay. Now, if we talk about the connection oriented, what it exactly do? Let's say here's the source, here's the destination, and there is a guy want to go there to the destination. So what he will do? First of all, connection oriented protocol will decide a path according to the calculation. What I have told you, like you decide your path towards destination. So the connection oriented protocol will decide a path. Let's say it found this path. Okay. So here's the source, here's the destination. So how communication will take place? First of all, it will dedicate it a path. Okay. It will decide a path and it will follow the same path for communication. Same path for communication means sending and receiving, for going and for coming back. Same path. And it is pre-decided. Pre-decided means communication hasn't started yet. Okay. It's pre-decided. Now, after decided, it will start the communication, will follow the path and will reach to the destination. This is the way. Okay. So sounds very authentic if you see, because the path is decided and the following the same path and will come back from the same path. The best thing about the connection oriented is they are reliable. Why they are reliable? Because they provide data deliveries acknowledgement. Okay. Acknowledgement is something like, let's say you are going for the outing or somewhere else. So you know that like parents usually call, your mom usually called, when you will reach, just make a call back and inform me that you have reached safely, isn't it? And it brings the authenticity. Okay. And it is something like that. So in connection oriented, when data will be received here to the destination, data is received, it will send back an acknowledgement that data is received, like this, with the same path. And the act will be received here to the sender. Correct? So that's why, this protocol, the connection oriented are, they are what we can say, they are reliable, they provide acknowledgement, and they use a pre-decided part, they use the same path for sending and receiving. Okay. This is the job of connection oriented. Now, let's talk about the connection less. So connection less oriented, about those protocols, very simple, guys. They do not follow the same path. First thing is that they follow the path where less traffic is found. So they are they are, just like those guys who follow the shortcuts. Okay. Let's say I said, oh, in this street, there is less traffic. So I will move towards my bike towards, that street. Correct. So that is the idea. Connectionless oriented do not indulge with the formalities or lots of technicality. They have a single philosophy. Like I will follow the path where there is a less traffic. Doesn't matter roads are bad. Doesn't matter the area is unsafe. Okay, they will follow the path where less traffic is found. The second thing about them is obviously they are not pre-deciding path. First thing that they are non-reliable. Okay, they are non-reliable because they do not provide technology. They do not provide act for the data delivery. So that is why these kind of a protocol are less means what we can say the less reliable. Okay. Now I am mentioning example like the which are the connection oriented and which are the connection less oriented. So I am naming them. TCP is a very popular protocol. Usually the full name of TCP is guys transmission control protocol. It is a part of connection oriented. SPX is the older protocol that is also part of connection oriented. And Apple Talk Datagram, that is also the example of connection oriented. And connection less oriented, we have UDP and IP and Apple Talk. These are the connection less oriented. Okay. Now we have discussed about the connection oriented and connection less oriented. So I have a question for you. I hope you are clear with that. I have a question for you. Which protocol you will follow for the communication? Any of you want to answer me? Which protocol you will follow for the communication? Vinay says TCP. And Vinay, why you will follow the TCP? Reason behind that? Okay. I have one more question for you, all of you. Which protocol, what do you think? Which protocol is being used right now during this class, during this session? Which protocol is being used right now during class? What do you think? You did. Okay. So, Vinay, you answered me. First time you said TCP, then you are answering UDP. Why I asked this question? Guys, it could be an interview question. So, Vinay, don't answer in this manner, what you have mentioned. Okay, do not answer in the interviews like this. See, both the protocols, if we are learning both the protocols, Bob, here, means both are the important one. Always remember, don't go with the behavior. Maybe you will not happy with the behavior of UDP. Correct. As Vinay mentioned, right? As Vinay mentioned, like because Vinay don't like the behavior of the connectionless oriented. Correct. But the fact is, if you are learning something, means it is something very, very important. So both are the important. You can't aside any of them. So both are the important. Right now, if I will show you, right now we are having the class, this session with the UDP. Perfect. And I can show you. Okay. So let me take you to Wireshark. It's a network capturing tool. With the help of that, we can capture the network traffic. I am connecting you towards through the Wi-Fi. You can see that under the protocol section. What is the major protocol here? Means whatever I am speaking, it is through the UDP. Correct? So you can't decide the protocol like that. Okay, both are the important. Definitely, you are not maybe the behavior of connectionless oriented or UDP is not good, even though it is used. Reason behind that, if you see the behavior of both, there is an advantage in connectionless oriented because it will not stuck with the formalities. That is why Jolly, the connectionless oriented are faster in convergence. Okay, they are faster as comparison of connection oriented. So when, let's say, it depends on the type of communication, guys. If you're looking for the faster convergence, then you will use the connectionless oriented. And if you want reliability in the communication, then you will use the connection oriented. Very simple. Let's say you have a banking transaction, you want to send money, you want to access your your net banking with your bank. So obviously, you required connection oriented because reliability is subject, correct? But right now, we are having a kind of a voice communication. It doesn't matter. No, reliability doesn't matter here, but the speed matters, the convergence rate matters. What I mean to say, let's say what will happen if I am speaking something right now and it will reach you after 2 minutes or 3 minutes. There is no sense of that. So that is why we use this connection less oriented during these kind of a sessions. So if you ask me, the where is the major use of connection less oriented like UDP? So guys, it uses where reliability doesn't matter, especially with this live streaming data because speed matters here. Okay, so live streaming data, the voice calls, the video calls, all of them are in connection less oriented. Okay, and there is one another logic of using UDP here. Let's say we have a VoIP call or whatever, like right now we are a kind of a VoIP or live streaming session right now. Let's say there is a packet will be missed, means packet is not delivered to you, all of you. Let's say I said something, obviously it will not listen by you. So what will happen? No worries, because there is a human interaction. You are also human, I am also human. So if you will not able to listen me, what you will do? You will say, pardon sir, sorry sir, we didn't get you. Could you please come again? So there is a possibility of recovering. Always remember that. There is a possibility of recovery because there is a human interference in these kind of a communication. That is why we use UDP here in the telecommunication as well as guys. Means you are talking to your friend. Sometimes the network will be lapsed. So you will not hear that part of the thing, what your friend was saying. So what you will do, you will say, hey, could you please come again? I didn't get you what I was saying. And the person will able to repeat because there is a possibility of, these transmission because of human interference. That is why connection less oriented are used here in these kind of a VoIP communication. Okay, so that is the idea. But if it's about the reliability, then guys, yes, we should go with the connection oriented and TCP will be used there. Okay, that is the whole idea. So these are the two categories of connection oriented and connection less oriented. Is there any doubt or query related to this? Feel free to ask because it is something very, very important. Is it clear? Okay. So let's move forward. And guys, for that purpose, you need to take help of internet as well as, okay. What you need to do, just check the major protocol is, connection oriented and connection less oriented. Just type the keyword difference between connection oriented and connection less oriented. You will get a table from the internet links. Just open them, that particular link. There are so many links are available. You will get all the detailing, means more in deep. Okay. And you can learn more on this. And you will get a table like this where you will get difference between connection oriented and connection less oriented. Like this. So you can learn it like in this manner. Okay. As well as you can go towards the difference between TCP and IP directly. Because as I told you, like you must have a good knowledge of TCP IP. So you need to understand, the difference between TCP and UDP. Okay. So just learn about this from the articles. Okay. You will get a table as well as the difference table as well as there. You can see that and you can learn more on that. Okay. So this is how basically you can make your learning perfect. Okay. That's the idea. Okay. See, for the purpose of like, obviously in training, I will guide you, but along with that, you need to explore more. And internet is the best stuff for finding, these things basically. Just go with the links, the articles. You can take help of these, links. You will get, nowadays we have AI as well as there, correct? You can check the knowledge with the AI as well as you can ask ChatGPT what is the difference between TCP and UDP. It will give you the proper list with the detailing. So, what I am saying it's not, it's for you. It's for your learning basically. You can explore more on the topic and it's your responsibility. Like, let's say I'm giving you the overview of any topic, then you need to explore it more. Okay. So with the internet is the best thing to do such a stuff. Okay. And obviously we're going to use that thing more. Okay. So that is it. So this is how basically the stuff are working around us, like the protocols. Okay. So I have defined these type of protocols, connection oriented. These type of protocol follows the same path for data transfer. They are much reliable because they give the acknowledgement of data transfer. So TCP, SPX, and AppleTalk Datagram is the example of connection oriented. Then we have the connection less oriented guys. These type of protocols follows the path where less traffic found. These protocols are non-reliable because they don't give the acknowledgement of data transfer. IP, UDP, AppleTalk is the example of this. But yes, we are using both of them. Okay, so that is the idea. Okay. Now let's move forward and we'll learn more on the networking part. So in the jobs, maybe you will get these kind of terms. Maybe your manager or your senior is saying, just check that thing on intranet, just check that thing on extranet. Maybe you will get these kind of things. Actually, these are the type of connection, intranet and extranet. Internet is a connection within the branch. Let's say you have multiple branch. Okay, maybe these branches are on different floors. Okay, different section of the same building. So that particular network will be known as the intranet. Okay, internet will within your net, within your own network. It could be definitely it could be a private network. Actually. Okay. The second term is that is the extranet. Extranet is connection between different branches. Where let's say you have a branch in California and one another branch is in San Francisco. And if you're connecting both the branches, obviously the ISP will be there at place. Okay. So because you are moving towards the public network, as I told you about the internet. So that is why we usually called it extranet. Okay. Extranet means you're connecting to the remote network through the internet. Okay. That is the idea. Okay. So these are the type of connection. There are two type of connection. We have intranet and we have extranet. Okay. That is the idea. Actually, you will listen these terms in industry possibly. Okay. Now let's talk about the elements of the network. So most of the time you have heard about the server, and so many things. Okay, most of the time. Let's say you went to a bank for some stuff, and the bank personnel is saying like, "Oh, sir, sorry, sir, we are not able to serve you today because server is down." Okay, something like that. Maybe you have heard with the offices and all. So what exactly is server? So there are two elements in the network. One is server, other one is client. Okay. Now what exactly is server? See, so, like people think like server is a kind of a huge machine or something like a supercomputer type of stuff. It is not like that, guys. Server is a kind of a normal machine. It is just like a normal desktop machine. Always remember that. Okay. The only difference is of operating system. Like right now, I am using Windows 11 on my PC, correct? You are using your own like Windows 11 or Windows 10, maybe Windows 7 or XP. The point is basically these all operating system are client-based operating system. Okay, which which I have mentioned: Windows 10, Windows 11, Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 95, Windows 98. These are all client-based systems. So our systems are client. Okay, your system, my system, these are the client systems. The difference between server system and client system is only about the platform, the operating system. So in server computer system, the operating system will be server based. It could be Microsoft Server 2022, it could be Microsoft Server 2016, 2012, 2003, 2008. Maybe the Linux server is there. Means the operating system only is the difference. First thing is that they look like a desktop computer. It consists of monitor, keyboard, mouse, peripherals, and the CPU part, what you usually call that cabinet box. You usually called it CPU. That CPU box is also there. Okay. The only difference is first is operating system and second is the configuration. See, because it's a server, server is need to serve basically, the network manager. So it consists, the hardware is the next level because we never turn off the server. Okay. Means the next level hardware means maybe you will have 64 gig RAM within the server. Maybe you will have 5 terabyte space in your server. Definitely there will be SSD as well. Correct. Maybe you have an NVIDIA graphics driver is also graphics are also there. Okay, CPU fans are huge there. Okay, so the server is only the difference between server and client for you know at hardware level is only the configuration part or the operating system. That is the only difference. Otherwise, they are same. Both are the computers. Okay. Now, what are servers exactly? In networking, guys, a centralized element. Okay, what is the definition of server? Is a centralized element which provides resources to its client is called server. Okay, so any computer that is providing resources to the other clients, that will be considered as a server. Okay, um, server manages like the data, okay, the data and the information or the network traffic as well as I have given you the example earlier. That was about the printer. On that time, I said like a printer is shared within the floor, and all the users are printing from that particular printer. So definitely, that printer is connected to one of the computers within the network. Okay, so let's say we have 40 users. That printer will be connected to one of the computer. That computer is server actually within that LAN. That is a print server. Okay, that is a print server which is responsible for printing. Okay, that is the idea. And other computers means from those 40 users, one is the print server. The other 39 is their client because they are dependent for the services on server. Correct? And client only manages the local resources. Okay, local resources like monitor, keyboards, CPU, peripherals, pen drive, and flash cards and all. Okay, so this is difference between server and client. People think like server is a kind of a different kind of a stuff, but it is not like that exactly. Okay, servers are only ordinary machines, but they are ready to serve, nothing else. Only we have enabled server features there. They are just like computers. So you can check in your offices, you can check your hub rooms. You will get server there at place. Okay, it consists monitor, keyboard, mouse, and everything there. Okay, so that is the idea. So this is the difference between server and client. These are the elements which are very important in the network. Okay. Usually, I can give you the example. Usually, you withdraw money from the ATM. You know that in your city, the with the same bank, you have multiple the ATM machines there at place. So you can withdraw money from any of the ATM. But the fact is, you know that you are withdrawing money from any of the machine, let's say, any of the machine, the money will be withdrawn from your account, correct? Because all those ATMs are connected to a server through a mainframe computer. Actually, there is a one more element between server and those ATM machines that is a mainframe computer system, and they are connected to the bank server. Correct. Ultimately, server is responsible for your money withdrawal or your transaction. Correct. Because your account details is within that server, bank server. Correct. So that is also an example of server and client. And why I'm saying that my machine is client machine, let's say I'm accessing Amazon.com. As I told you, people think like we are accessing or we are surfing, but it is not a fact. The right thing is actually I am accessing the Amazon.com, actually, Amazon's web server. Okay. It is not, wow. 1 second, guys. Changing my URL automatically. I should not go with the .com. I am in India. So I will go with the India version. .in. Okay, sorry. I am spelling mistake. When I am accessing the Amazon.in, exactly, I am accessing the web server of Amazon, where from I am getting this response, the website, actually. Okay, so this is how communication is taking place. Okay, just try to understand, just try to relate with this. Okay, so that's how the communication will take place. Okay, so that is that. So this is how usually the communication is taking place in our life. Okay, that is the idea. Now, guys, it's about the networking elements like the servers and clients. The next topic will be the type of the network. So there are different type of network. Few of them you have heard, like the LAN, man, WAN, wide area network, local area network, and so many. We will discuss all type of network in our next lecture. And for today, I think that is enough. So finally, like I want queries from you. If you have any query doubt related to the course or something like that, you can ask me. It's not only about the topic. If you have any query or any doubt, you want to ask me something, you can ask. Feel free to ask. Otherwise, we will wrap the class. Okay. Okay. Is that is there any query? Amit, John, Jolly, Rohit, Vinay. You will get it. You just need to connect with the team with that, and you will get it. Okay, just drop a WhatsApp to the team. Okay, so you will get that thing. Okay, and later on, yes, later on you will get the recordings and all, and you will get everything. Okay, even the notes as well as I will share these notes with the team as well as they will upload it into the portal. You can get all the access of the portal. Just connect with the counselor for this. Okay, and definitely we will support you during the training. Don't worry about it. Okay, guys, that's all for today from my side. Okay, so like just prepare yourself mentally, prepare for the trainings. Just retake this session. That is the best way. Just watch it like a movie. Okay, just plug your headphone and just watch it like a movie. Just listen me carefully, and you will everything will be clear. Even you do not need to prepare the notes. You can prepare your few people can have the habit. You can prepare the quick notes. Okay, but it's up to you. But yeah, it is must it is highly recommended to retake the session. This is something very very important because whenever we will move forward, we will discuss all these topics. These topics will come again and again, in the further discussion. So that is why things should be clear. That's why I'm covering these topics, and I am not covering each and every topic of the networking. There are so many things in the networking. Okay, but we are covering essential part. That is the part of the training. Correct. So that is the idea. So that's all for today. On next weekend, we will have the class at the same time, guys. Okay. And we will discuss and learn more. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day, guys.